Okay, everybody, the most exciting and fun and somewhat listened to, but not as much as I'd like, podcast Heartfelt is back. And you are indeed listening to the Top 5 podcast. And this is your host, Kris McPeak, with, as always, my favorite co-host, Annie Pruitt. Hello, Annie Pruitt. How are you?
Hey, big sister. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good. It's been a busy, fun week. I know you said that you had gardening to do today. So what are we planting?
We're doing tomatoes and cucumbers today and peppers. So yeah, lots to do.
Very important part of our summer eating are those delicious tomatoes.
Yes.
And you grow like 3 different kinds, right?
I'm doing two different kinds this year, but mostly just do the aromas for salsa. That's that's the big thing.
Salsa.
Salsa.
Yeah, you guys
Yep.
make some killer salsa. That is
Yeah.
not a lie.
Yes. So
okay.
that's what's happening around here.
Oh, yay. So Annie and I hung out in Kansas about 10 days ago now, and I was with her for 4 days. We didn't record a single episode. We were involved in pop culture because we watched a new movie every night, which was super great.
We did.
And let's see, if you have not watched, is it Bottoms? If you have not watched Bottoms on Amazon Prime, you need to make that a priority because
that was so fun.
Laughed our fucking asses off. And also Don't Look Up, which was both funny and sort of, I guess, intuitive of our current times. And so it's got a message and you laugh your ass off.
Indeed.
All kinds of fun. What else did we watch? We watched the Exorcist movie and now I don't remember.
Exorcist, then, oh geez. I don't know.
Monkey Man. We watched the Monkey Man.
Oh, yes. Yes, that was fun. That was really fun.
I need to watch that one again. I felt there was a lot going on there, and I think I did nod off a couple times, but I mean, how can you not love Dev Patel? He's amazing. So anyway, thumbs up all around, mostly.
Yes.
Today, we're going to deviate a little bit and do some sports stuff. Annie,
yeah.
Talk about today.
Well, it's baseball season. So we're going to do our top 5 favorite baseball movies.
All right.
It's really hard to stick. It's really hard to stick to 5. I'll say that.
I don't even have an honorable mention. I'm wondering how much overlap we're going to have. I'm just a little curious. We'll have to see how that goes.
So, I have so many that I think I can adjust my list as we go to not have overlap. So,
okay. Well, let's see how we make it work. Do you want to go first or do you want
I want you to go. No, I want you to go first on this one.
Yeah. You're in motion right now. Okay.
Well, try to get my dogs to shut up.
Oh, yeah. That's all right. Yeah. No worries. I'm still in the bedroom and I have bed hair and all of the things. But that's all right. So I'm going to start with Keanu Reeves. Yes, he does more than football movies. I'm going with Hardball. Which I think came out in 2002, maybe. And
okay.
I've only seen it twice because I just cry. It's kind of sad, but it's kind of beautiful and uplifting too. So he's this, I forget what he does for a living. And he gets conned into coaching a bunch of sort of neighborhood projects kids in a little league team. And they're a hot mess group of kids, but they're all really endearing. And I think what I love so much about this is their pitcher can't throw the ball without his headphones on listening to the Notorious B.I.G.
Oh my God.
There comes a time in the movie where they won't let him play his headphones anymore. And so Keanu gets the whole team to stand up and sing this, "I love you when you call me Big Pop, put your hands in the air like you." It is really endearing and sweet. Diane Lane's in it. She plays a friend, love interest thing. But I think, in the sense that it's not a rip of the Bad News Bears. It's kind of like an elevated version of the Bad News Bears if they were all black kids with a white coach. And just, to see kids that have a tough life and they find something that makes them happy, that they're good at, like baseball, and they find somebody to coach them that makes them believe in the thing that they love. And so I think that's what's so endearing about this movie. And if I recall correctly, because again, I've only seen it a couple times, but I believe there's a tragedy that finally brings everybody together in a different way. But and you know, how can you not love Keanu in sports movies? Like we talk about Keanu a lot on this site on this show, because we love him in the majority of his roles, and he's beautiful in all of the ways. So yeah, that's my number 5, Hardball.
I haven't seen that, so now
Oh.
I'm really excited. I have to see this movie.
It's delightful.
Okay, and it's Keanu, so I don't need any other reason. All right, so my number 5 is a comedy as well, and I'm gonna go. I don't have the year of the movie, but I'm gonna go with Fever Pitch, the Jimmy and Drew Barrymore movie. So
Yes.
it's one of my sick day movies. I can watch it over and over again. I love it. So Jimmy Fallon, high school teacher who chose to be a teacher just to have summers off to go to Boston Red Sox baseball games. So to say he is a Boston Red Sox fan is a complete understatement, down to his shower curtain and his bed sheets and everything in his house is Boston Red Sox. Meets Drew Barrymore. She is a, hard charging, business. I don't know what kind of company she works for, but she is working for him and has no idea that he has this life as the Red Sox fanatic. Hold on one second. So, of course, the coolest thing about this movie is the season that they film it is the season that the Boston Red Sox win the World Series, and they're there at the game filming the movie.
I didn't know that.
The World Series. Yes. So it was crazy, insane. So just that the fact that they chose to do a movie the same year that they finally break the curse of the break the curse of the Bambino, and they win the World Series, and they're there at the game filming the movie. So that was just so cool. But it's such a cute romantic comedy. It really, really is. And it kind of gets to also how for people that are season ticket holders, that's kind of your family, because you sit with the same people for every game.
Yeah.
So it gets to that, there's a lot of families outside of you have a lot of networks of families, if you will. But it's fun. It's so cute. And those two together, every time they do an SNL skit, they can never keep themselves straight. But they have great chemistry.
Did he write that, or like, is he a Boston Red Sox fan in real life?
That's a good question, because I cannot get my Google to work. So I have to look that up and get back to you.
I love Jimmy Fallon. I think he's incredibly funny. I love what he's done with the Tonight Show. I loved him on SNL. I think I remember one of the years he hosted the Emmys, because he can sing too, and he can play a mean guitar. Like, he did these 3 funny salutes to series that were ending all at the same time. I think it was Lost, 24, and the original Law and Order. And he did these funny little, send-offs. He rewrote I think that's what I dig about him, is he rewrites song lyrics like I do.
Yeah.
And that's so fun. Yeah, I like that movie. I need to see that one again, because that one's adorbs. Okay. My number 4 is the HBO film directed by Billy Crystal called 61. And I suppose you have to say 61 asterisk, because the asterisk is in the title. But this is the story, and it was the summer of 61 too, was it not?
Yes.
Summer of 61, the home run battle essentially between Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle for Babe Ruth's record of single season home runs that stood for a very, very long time. Love Thomas Jane, love Barry Pepper playing Mantle and Roger Maris respectively. Like, Barry Pepper really put himself into that role, and it's so well done. All of the people in the movie, all the different characters are hilarious and fun. And I love that this is Billy Crystal's like Valentine to New York City and Valentine to the New York Yankees. You think of famous people who are famous fans of teams, like, Spike Lee and the Knicks and Jack Nicholson and the Lakers and Billy Crystal and the Yankees. I thought this movie was amazing. I thought Barry Pepper deserved an Emmy for his work. And what I really love about this movie is that they couch the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa battle in the summer of whenever that was, 98. And Charles and I were living in St. Louis when that was going on. And And so that being woven into the mix is a really nice way to kind of couch that legend of, well, if you remember that summer, because I remember that summer really well, but to harken back to where that all started, and it was someone else's record first, and it was in someone else's, goal, strive, passion, and the hell, that you have to go through with stuff
Hmm.
like that. They did not want Roger Maris to break that record. He was not a particularly likable ball player. He wasn't, flash and camera and all those things. But anyway, so yeah, that's my number 4, 61.
Okay. Mine is also my number 4. Okay, I'm sorry, just to backtrack. I love 61. It was a potential to be on my list because I love it as well, but I will adjust fire from that. So my number 4 is also based on a true story, and that it will be the 2011 movie Moneyball. Uh,
Oh, good one.
so based on the true story of the Oakland A's. So Billy Beane, is it Billy Beane? Yeah, the manager, former he was a pitcher in the major leagues, and he was supposed to be the next big thing, and his career didn't work out. And it was the season that the Oakland A's broke the record for the longest streak. But going into the season, it's when the whole statistics was happening.
Right, right.
So, and what I found so funny, and I was going to kind of do a tie because the very next summer, Trouble with the Curve came out in 2012, and it was like it had the opposite theme of Moneyball, that you can't base it on numbers. It's about the sound of what when the ball hits the bat. I don't know, but I thought Brad Pitt was marvelous, and I down to all of the little bits of things about baseball. They get the superstitions, the getting sent down, getting brought up, changing positions. God bless when Kris, oh God, what's wrong with my brain today?
Chris Pratt.
Yes, when Chris Pratt, when they bring him on board to play first base, and he says, what are you worried about? And a ball being hit in my general direction as the first baseman. And he's the one that hits that home run in the game that they were up like 17-0, and they almost lost it. So anyway, it's such a good movie, and that's one of those, if it's on television in the Pruitt household, we just kind of leave it on because we love it. So number 4, Moneyball, love it.
Yeah, I love that movie too. And I love Jonah Hill in that movie. Of all the things Jonah Hill has done, like for him to get Academy Award nomination for that movie. And I honestly think it's when he does that, the thing with that look is just so hilarious.
Yeah.
And what I love about that story too is, yeah, people say, well, yeah, they did all this work and they, made all these trades and this, that, and the other thing, and it didn't work for them. But one could argue that it did work for Theo Epstein for the Red Sox and then again for the Cubs. And I don't know if that was the thought behind it, but one could argue. It's just a
Yeah.
really interesting way of looking at the game of baseball. I mean, any
Yeah.
game for that matter. Pretty smart stuff.
Pretty smart.
Yeah. Okay. My number 3 is another Little League game.
Okay.
If this is not on your list, you cannot possibly love the game of baseball. I'm going with the original Bad News Bears from, I want to say 1976, with Walter Matthau and Tatum O'Neal, and a wide variety of really awkward, odd young kids on this baseball team. The Bad News Bears become a team because some dad won a lawsuit and they were able to have their team, but they don't have a coach. They have a crazy sponsor. They have a bail bonds place for a sponsor. And Mr. Buttermaker is alcoholic, drunk, former player, but this team owner, team person seems to think that, he might be able to coach these kids. And what a rascally, wild, rambunctious group they are. And then he goes back and brings in a girl, Amanda Warlitzer,
Mhm.
who used to teach baseball. And I think the
Yeah.
mom and
Relationship.
Buttermaker might have
Yeah.
dated. But so he brings her in, and then he brings in Kelly Leak, the bad kid that nobody wants on the field, rides a motorcycle, smokes cigarettes, but he can throw a ball and he can hit a ball. and the Bears start to win. And if you've never seen the movie, I guess maybe I won't spoil it, but I feel like what the hell if you haven't seen this movie. But it is just endearing, but also funny as shit because these kids are a hot mess, but they figure it out and they become a team and they learn things about each other. And even poor little Timmy
Lupus,
Lupus finally gets to play and makes, the big catch.
big catch.
The one catch, like Timmy Lupus can't do anything, but he made that
He's
one
the
catch and it was so lovely.
longest child on the planet.
Yes, yes. And I mean, talk about hazing and mean kids. And, in that movie, the Yankees were the mean kid team.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and there's some hard drama in that too. Like the Yankees coach is an asshole and his kid is the pitcher and just all of those things. So anyway, I mean, you can see the Richard Linklater film that's got Billy Bob Thornton in it. It's okay, but just go back and watch the first one, the original one with Jackie Early Haley and Tatum O'Neal and oh my gosh, Jennifer Jason Leigh's dad is in it. I forget. He's the asshole Yankee coach. Anyway, yeah, great movie. Great, funny, endearing movie about baseball.
All right.
Woo.
That I will shift that off my list
Oh
because
gosh.
I know we're gonna have an overlap. So I love that. And I haven't seen that in a really long time. So I think maybe I'm overdue. I should have a baseball day.
Yeah,
And
it's a good idea.
yeah. Okay. So for that, then I'm gonna go my number three. I'm gonna go with For the Love of the Game. So this is Kevin Costner, of course,
Of course.
and may not be another Kevin Costner movie on this list, but he's a pitcher and he's an aging pitcher and and it's probably going to be one of his last games. And the entirety of the movies is that during the game and it's told in flashback and he's, reliving memories
Yeah.
each step of the way, and it kind of his process of when he's about to pitch, how he blocks out the sound and synthesizes what's happening around him is really really interesting. And just the story of his life and his relationships are told as he's pitching this game. Well,
Yeah.
it's beginning to look like it's going to be the perfect game, and it comes down to that the last inning, and he's few out, he's maybe 3 outs away or 2 outs away, and he's done. He is given it everything he has, and the pitcher, or I'm sorry, the first baseman, who's played by, oh dear God, from Step Brothers. What's his name from Step Brothers?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember. O'Reilly, John
Oh,
C.
right.
Reilly.
So he's the catcher, but basically the catcher and the first baseman say, "We got you. You keep going, and we got you." And it is it, and now it's about the players making sure that he gets the perfect game. So it's a really beautiful story, and it's all about for the love of the game of baseball. So that's my number. What is that? That's my number three, For the Love of the Game.
Kelly
Yeah.
Preston plays the love
Yeah.
interest, right? Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen that a few times, but it's been a while. And I think, I could watch Kevin Costner in baseball movies for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
actually. Be okay with me. Number two for me, yes.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go with Major League
Okay.
with Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen and Dennis Haysbert before he was President Palmer. So this is the movie about the Cleveland Indians owner who tries to stack the deck with a really shitty team so that they can move the team out of Cleveland over to Miami. And by God, these players are not going to have it. So they figure out, in spite of her giving them nothing in the way of a plane or a hot tub or anything like that. They are going to win in spite of. And so it's like kind of like the Bad News Bears grew up and all joined the Cleveland Indians. But this movie's hilarious. Charlie Sheen is a rookie pitcher that they bring in who played ball in the California Penal League. They actually get him out of jail to bring him onto the team. And Wesley Snipes kind of just sneaks on the team as Willie Mays Hayes that no one's ever heard of. but he can hit like Mays and run like Hayes. And oh my gosh, these guys are hilarious. And then there's a side little love story with Tom Berenger's character. He's the catcher, Jake something. Jake Taylor?
Jake Taylor, yeah.
Jake Taylor. And Renee Russo is his ex-girlfriend who was an athlete herself, and they broke up, but then they get back together at the end, and it's really cute. I don't know, just this movie's funny, and you know, the team spirit, like, don't tell us that we're has-beens, and don't tell us that you're going to try to move this team. We're going to show you, and we're going to kick ass and take names, and it's very funny. The whole thing circling around this, did you ever read Moby Dick? And he does read Moby Dick. He reads the comic book version. So silly. Yeah.
He's trying to get him
Zipper stuck. Improvise.
He didn't read the book though. He read the comic book.
He read the comic book. Still, he figured it. Yeah. Anyway, he's got them all reading comics that they're on the
Yeah.
and they're trading. You know, I'll give you this Hawthorne for this whatever. But yeah, I that's a fun one, and that's one where if that happens to be on television and that's on TV, we just let that one roll. Although it's not as much fun with the swear words cut out, but still, it's a good one. Away from Major League Two, it's Tom Berenger's not in it, and it's just not the same. But Major League, the original one, a lot of fun.
All right. So I have a feeling that our top two are going to be the same top two. Major League was my number one, so I'll make it my number two as well. So the other things that I love about this movie is, so Charlie Sheen's character, he's got an arm like nobody's business, but he needs glasses.
Right.
And he's carrying the glasses. So at the beginning of the movie, you know, the Indians are terrible. They're just god awful. And there's like 7 people in the stands, and they're constantly like across the town, you know.
Yeah. They're shitty.
Yeah. And then which I also love, you got Bob Uecker doing the baseball announcing. So his commentary up in the booth, he's like, oh, hell, he's listening anyway.
All 4, all 12.
Yeah. And you got the 3 guys banging the drums, the diehard fans that are there for every game, right? And we all know those guys. We know those. It's when
too high. Too high. What the fuck is too high? Shit, it's gone.
So as they start winning, and the fans start showing up again. So by the end of it, they're screaming for Wild Thing, and you got Joan Jett singing Wild Thing for Charlie Sheen. It doesn't get much better than that. And he's got the badass glasses with a little skull and crossbones in it.
Right.
Yeah. and he has to pitch against the guy. He comes out as the relief pitcher to pitch against the guy that put him on his ass at the beginning of the season. So, you know, kind of the redemption, and then the competition between players, and then the camaraderie that happens after, when Corbin Benson punches him because Charlie, and then again, baseball's got to be the most superstitious sport in the world. But what's his name? I have it pulled up here so I can remember. Oh
my gosh, what is his name? It's Dennis Haysbert. It's President Palmer who plays the voodoo guy.
Exactly.
Look at this fucking guy.
And so, fuck you, Joe Boo. Yeah.
So, drink Joe Boo rum.
Yeah, for all the same reasons you love it. It's such a great baseball movie. There's a little bit of a love story, but it's mostly about the baseball.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is mostly about the baseball. That's true. But I love Renee Russo in that movie.
Oh, I do. She's amazing.
Okay, so I at first I was like, I don't have an honorable mention, and now I think I have one. As we've been talking about this, I'm remembering the Dennis Quaid movie, The Rookie, where he plays the high school baseball coach, and they finally win a finals or a state championship or something, and now they all are telling him, it's up, your turn, coach. We want you to go and try out for the major leagues. I guess someone catches him, like he throws a ball and someone speed checks it, and it's really fast, and they're like, okay, coach, it's your turn.
Hey, did you say Dennis Leary? Dennis Quaid.
I meant to say Dennis Quaid. Did I say Dennis Leary? Oh my God, I didn't mean that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. This is probably my favorite Dennis Quaid movie ever.
Yes.
He's wonderful. Yeah. And they have a great cast. Jay Hernandez, that little hottie, he's one of the baseball players, and the stringy blonde-haired kid from Fast and Furious is in it, and little Angus, whatever his name, who eventually
Yep.
became Two and a Half Men, he's in it.
Yeah.
So that movie's entertaining. That's based on a true story too. This is a
Yeah.
real dude that got to live his dream to pitch in the major leagues when he's what, like his late 30s or early 40s, something crazy.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
And the dad story in that too. And his dad shows up to the games, like just
Oh my God, that's right. I
oh
forgot about that. That's a
God.
fun one.
And his dad
Oh,
is played by freaking Brian Cox.
oh, that's right.
Yeah. That would like, oh my
Brian
God.
Cox playing a Texas dad. That's hilarious.
Such a good movie. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes.
I love that one. I freaking love it.
So
Good
yeah,
call.
that's my honorable mention. It should probably be higher up, but nonetheless, I'd
I
forgotten about
watch it. I need to watch a feel good. It's gonna make me cry. I can't watch crying movies right now. Uh,
it.
all right. So I'm gonna go and I already talked about this. My honorable mention is gonna be Trouble with the Curve. And the reason that I
Ah,
like not for Clint Eastwood, but Amy Adams. So Amy Adams being the daughter of a scout, a baseball scout. But her dad's health is failing, and she has a feeling that he's about to get fired because they're trying to go to this numbers game. But so she's tracking him down and trying to help him, and it's her whole personal life is an absolute mess. But she knows the freaking game of baseball like nobody else. And then of course she meets Justin Timberlake, cutie patootie, who is also a scout, former player. But in the backstory, all of the scouts are going after this college kid who's the big hitter, and he's cocky and arrogant and just a freaking asshole, right? And some teenagers slash there's some guys that are like worker bees, and he like down popcorn. They're selling popcorn, and he makes fun of him, makes jokes at him. Called Peanut Guy, calls him Peanut Man.
Peanut Man.
Well, so at the end of the movie, Amy Adams is getting ready to check out of her hotel, and she hears somebody throwing the ball, and it's Peanut Man, who's got a hell of a curveball, and she's like, she's like, I'm scouting this guy, and so she brings him to this game or to this practice where they're showing off the number one draft pick,
Yes.
and he can't hit this guy's pitch.
No.
Hit it, trouble with the curve. So yeah, it's all about the scouting process and kind of knowing players, knowing the game, understanding, statistics mean something, but also, and she tells her dad, played by Clint Eastwood, I heard it. And that was, she heard the pitch, and that's all she needed. She knew the game so well. So
That's cool.
it's just like that. So that scene, I love it just for that. It's a great movie altogether, but that scene when that kid comes out there and just like shoves it down that guy's throat, it's just fucking, it's the best redemption like possible.
That's cool.
So
I've not seen this movie. Did Clint Eastwood direct it too, or he just starred
I
in
think
it?
no, I think so.
Well, the notion of Amy Adams being like a baseball know-it-all person, that's just a little hot. I think
Okay.
it's kind of sexy.
She's sexy as hell in this movie too.
We love Amy Adams on the show. I don't know if you figured that out yet, but we do.
Yeah.
We
Oh, I
do. Okay, Charles, you want to sign in on the number one baseball movie of all time? He just came in here. He's hot and sweaty. He plopped down on the bed. Something odd must have happened outside. But yeah, we probably overlap on this. I'm assuming that
Yep.
we do, because why
Yep.
wouldn't we? If you,
Yep.
again, do
It's
not
our
have this movie on your list as the number one baseball movie of all time, I don't think you deserve to listen to this show. And we are
correct.
going with Kevin Costner once again. And that movie is Bull Durham from 1986 or 87, I think. Or no, it might have been 88. But
Yeah.
this is the movie. It's not even about Major League Baseball. It's about the minor leagues. It's about
It's trying to get to the majors.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
what these teams have to do, what these players have to do to go to the show. We hear all about the show from Crash Davis, played by Kevin Costner. He shows up. He's the player to be named later. And the only reason they bring him up is to help train and nourish Ebby Calvin Nuke LaLoosh, paid very dorkingly by the sexy Tim Robbins. And I love that this was the movie where Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins got together. this movie hits on the superstitions of baseball like nobody's business. But I think it's also, baseball isn't all glamour and you have to pay your dues. You don't go right out of high school into, the NBA like you do with the NBA. You get drafted by a team, you go play in the minors until they're ready to bring you up. Some people do it faster than others, but some people are Crash Davis and they're going to ride this career as long as they can stand it. And like the coach says, you can keep coming to the ballpark and getting paid to do it because it beats the hell out of working at Sears. I cannot tell you how many times in my life, because I have worked at Sears, I will quote that line. It beats the hell out of working at Sears. Ah, Sears sucks, Crash. I once worked at Sears, sold Lady Kenmore's. Nasty, nasty. But this is one of the most quotable movies in the history of the world. There are so many little gems that Crash gives Ebby, Calvin Nuke, the shower shoes thing. They're talking about whatever, and Crash just picks up a flip flop and says, "You have fungus on your shower shoes. Think classy, you'll be classy." So many gems in this movie. I probably have seen this movie 100 times easily.
When you get to the show, you can let the fungus grow back. And the press will call you colorful.
I think you're colorful. But until you win 20 games in the show, however, it means you're a slob.
Oh my God. Quotables. I'm pretty sure you and I could do most of the movie with quotables. This is my number one. You lollygag around the infield. You know what that makes you? Lollygaggers.
Lollygaggers.
So I'll tell you, it's beyond that. It's all of the cast that are in this. So that I got to look the actor's name up real quick. He is so cute and funny in this movie. The assistant coach.
Oh, that's Robert Wool.
Yes, he is, and then the coach himself. All of the players. The super religious guy gets married to the
team slut.
The team slut. And they're sitting there on the mound just deciding what to get for
right. And no one seems to know what to get for a wedding gift. We're dealing with a lot of shit here. So they never do talk about the curse on the glove. Candlesticks make a nice gift. Maybe check where they're registered. Yes.
And that's cool again. So, he puts out all the fires.
So it's so great.
And the funny thing is the love story piece of it, because again, she loves the game of baseball. Mm-hmm. The church, it's her church. And and she doesn't, the fact that she ends up with Ebby, but Ebby's going to come and go, and she knows that. And I think that she said he was afraid, but I think she was afraid because there was potential there. And of course, in the end, they're dancing in the living room. Kevin Costner's wearing her robe, and it's beautiful. It is the cutest dancing scene in a non-dancing movie ever. So I love it.
Yeah. And she knew all along she wanted to be with Crash Davis. Who are we fooling here?
With Crash Davis.
And what did she say? When he hit that dinger, I knew it the minute it happened.
Yeah.
And the Sporting News said nothing about it.
Yeah. And the iconic speech of, well, what do you believe? And I'm not going to do it, but that is probably the greatest little soliloquy on ever.
Yeah. Between that speech and her opening speech about the Church of Baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball, it's America's game. You can look it up.
I love it.
So many gems in that movie. All right. Well, let's recap.
Okay.
Annie, you go first.
Okay. Honorable mention, Trouble with the Curve. And then from 5 to 1, Fever Pitch, Moneyball, For the Love of the Game. And then I share with you Major League and Bull Durham.
We did share those as 2 and 1, didn't we?
Yes. Well, I had 2, but
yeah. Well, see, because Annie does this. She's much smarter than I am. She always has 3 or 4 backups just in case. Because, you forget, people. We are sisters. We grew up watching a lot of the same movies together. My honorable mention is The Rookie, and then I went with Hardball, 61, The Bad News Bears, Major League, and Bull Durham as well. So, how far into the season are we? About a month, I guess, a little over a month.
A little over that. Yeah. So, the Royals are doing good this year. The Rangers are doing good this year. Haven't been to a game yet, but I will certainly get my ass to a ballpark when I can. So,
and yeah, it's been a few years since we've been to a major league game, but we'll figure it out because it is America's sport.
It is absolutely.
All right. Well, for Annie Pruitt, I'm Kris McPeak. Thank you, as always, for downloading this week's episode. And if you wouldn't mind, when you have a second, leave us a rating and a review because no one's done that in a long time. In fact, we could use some more stars. So thanks for listening. We will catch up with you next time. Bye.